Good evening, I'm Destiny. This is Monday Mail number 3. As a quick side note before I jump into this, I've been kind of looking at different ways to do introductions and how I should speak and all that shit for my serious videos and for my Monday Mail and all that stuff. Part of the philosophy that I have, I guess, when I approach content that I do for YouTube, I guess like more along the vein of prepared content, I want it to have a bit more of a serious tone than what you get like on my stream. I know that it's a little bit weird at first, maybe to watch me act a little bit more serious. I'm not trying to go hardcore, like I'm going to wear a suit and tie and all that shit and, shave for every fucking video or whatever. But the way that I present myself online in the form of prepared content, I want it to look a little bit more prepared, and I want somebody who doesn't necessarily buy into the brand of humor that I sell on my stream to be completely turned off from watching, any kind of idea that I put out in a YouTube video. So I'm not gonna go full, PG-13 and crazy whatever libcuck, I don't know, whatever the fuck you guys, the words you kids use these days, but yeah, that's kind of like the idea, the guiding principle behind everything that I'm trying to gear my YouTube stuff towards. Right now I'm trying out Good Evening as the intro. I guess it sounds a little bit weird at first, but I'm just looking for something that'll stick. There's a lot of kind of like subtle branding that goes on that you don't even realize that as soon as you turn a video on from Husky, right? It was HT Husky. I think what is Crips is like, hey guys, Criparian here, whatever. Like I don't know exactly what it is because I never watch his stuff, but I know if you do watch it enough, like eventually you hear it and it's like, it feels like I don't know. It feels like sitting down on the couch after a long day of work. Like you turn it on and then you hear the thing, I don't know exactly I'm not looking for like a catchphrase or something, but just like a similar way to open a lot of my content. And I'll try Good Evening for a while. It's just a formal, standard whatever. And we'll kind of go from there. So we are doing Monday Mail number 3. As always, I'll be posting the link to the next Monday Mail number 4 questions down below in the not the comments, but the info section of this video. You can post your questions there, upvote questions you want to see answered, downvote questions that you think suck, whatever you want to do, whatever makes you happy. The first question comes from Skymander. And Skymander says, hey, Destiny, streaming is your full-time job right now, and it seems to be going pretty well, but down the line, 5, 10, maybe 20 years, what do you see as your ideal job transition after you're officially done streaming? I think that doing the streaming thing has really made the self-employment thing like feel really good to me, or rather show me how good that being self-employed feels. I don't know if I could ever work for someone again after doing this for so long. Like, man, I don't know, being self-employed is really nice and I can wake up and work whenever I want, and I don't really owe a manager any of my time, or I don't have to give an explanation. I mean, you kind of do, right, because you still have fans and whatnot, but I mean, if you've been self-employed, right, it's a lot more freedom than if you're not self-employed. If I want to go on vacation, I can always tweet it out or whatever. So I would hope that if for some reason, I don't know what it would be, but if some event causes streaming to be an improbability down the line, I don't know, I would try to get involved in something maybe esports related. If not esports related, then maybe something more related to, I don't know, computer tech, something like that. I could do maybe the computer building thing, hardcore. I don't know, it's not something along those lines. It would be something in the general vein of what I do, something related to video games or computer and technology, or maybe the dream, maybe somehow we get involved in music again. I don't know how likely that is. Moving on to the second question, this comes from zbdzbd. What a great name. I wasn't going to read this one. Shit. I kind of edited this shit out. Could you maybe do a bonus 4th question where you answer one that wasn't the top upvotes? I'm keeping my questions to just 3 right now because I don't want to over answer questions and get it to a point to where like in 2 months there are no good questions left, and then we kind of, every video was just me repeating either answering meme questions or variations of the same question. So that's kind of why I'm trying to keep the questions down to a bare minimum. I guess if I see something that's like absolutely something that's really interesting that I really want to answer, then maybe I'll pick it out, but I'm kind of thinking most of those will be upvoted anyway. Again, you can keep asking the same question every week. If you haven't seen your question answered, then eventually it'll get to the top as people run out of other questions to upvote, unless your question really fucking sucks, in which case maybe you need to think of a better question to ask. I won't count that one, okay? I won't meme this guy too hard. So we'll go, the real second question is from ZeZohan. Hi, Stephen. Could you expand upon your experience at a Catholic high school? Do you think it was overall beneficial to your development, and would you send Nathan to a Catholic school? When I think that elementary and middle school education at a religious institution can lead to childhood problems stemmed by the religion itself. Catholic high schools have a strong intellectual tradition that also provide the moral instruction that public schools often lacked. Thoughts? Thanks, and down with the Protestants. I went to, so if you didn't know, I went to a Catholic grade school from years 1 to 8, and then I was in a Jesuit Catholic high school from years 9 to 12. The grade school was pretty religious. They hit you over the head with that shit pretty hard in grade school. I wasn't full on, like, I didn't have nuns. Well, I guess some of my teachers were nuns, but like not very, very, very rarely were they a nun. And nobody was like beating kids in classrooms and shit. But especially come time for like confirmation, which is I think when you're in like, what is that, like 6th grade, and they make you confirm your faith in Jesus Christ and shit. Like, damn, they go crazy with that religious shit. I don't think I'm really comfortable sending Nathan to that kind of an environment just because there's so much oversaturation of that kind of religious mindset, and it goes along with like the sex education and everything too, that I'm just not comfortable putting him in that kind of an environment when he's still too young to really understand some of the crazy shit religious people say. So I'm going with public school for grade school. Now, as for high school, I went to a school called Creighton Prep in Omaha, Nebraska. That school was fucking awesome. Going back a little bit to the grade school, the quality of education was really, really, really good. The math classes and the science classes that were offered were amazingly good. So I don't think the education was bad at all. The religious undertones are really extreme. For the high school part, I thought the high school was amazing. I don't know if every Jesuit high school is the same way, but like I think that because even by the time I was like 15, 16, I was getting into that edgy atheist, kind of nihilistic mindset. Nothing mattered and everything was whatever and fuck God and all that shit. But even of that mindset, there was still a lot of good shit that you could take away from the high school. I felt like the lessons were a lot more not as hardcore religious and more Jesus focused, if that makes sense. I feel like some of the least Jesus-like people today sometimes are the religious people. Like, I feel like at Creighton Prep, they always beat you over the head with like, be a brother to other people, be nice to your, your fellow man, help people out, be a cool dude. Like, that seemed to be the overbearing message on everything. And even a lot of the preachers that we had were more or less the same kind of way, like, hey, like this, if this guy's being a real asshole to you, what, like they kill him with kindness, and you got to be a super chill bro to everybody, find people that need help, give them a hand. I don't know. I feel like, or no, I do know. Like Creighton Prep was a really, really good school. The tuition is hella expensive, $10,000 a year. I'm gonna have to donation drive for that shit. But I maybe, or it's either that or the GTR, right? The big memes. But I think I'm okay sending Nathan to a Jesuit high school, I think, especially if it was prep again, because the school was it was so good. It was so amazing. Every part of the school was so amazing. And even being an atheist, I would have no problem putting another person that I would want to be an atheist through that kind of a school, because it was such a great experience. And it gave me the foundation of understanding what it really means to be religious. So I think that experience benefits me a lot when it comes to talking about things like Islam and whatnot. Having that background of what does it mean to be a Catholic? What does it mean to be a religious person? Does it mean that you read the book and you follow it all line by line? Or is it a lot more complicated than that, right? You've got regional things, you've got archdioceses, you've got individual churches, you've got individual preachers, you've got different schools, all of these different people that have their own message from Christ and their own way of interpreting scripture and their own ideas and thoughts on, how do we, live the catechism in our daily lives and shit, from a Catholic point of view. I get, catechism isn't whatever, but yeah, I'm grateful. I'm really happy that I had that experience for high school. I think that I'm really, really happy that I'm an atheist now. God, I hate religion. I really hate religion, but I'm really glad that I grew up in that religious environment, because I feel like it gave me so much perspective that it's impossible. It's impossible to have that kind of perspective. Maybe, I think, or at least for me, if I wouldn't have experienced it myself, there's no way that you could talk to me about that kind of stuff if I hadn't had grown up experiencing it. And the final question, the 3rd/4th question, comes from Schlarp, who says, sorry, I might have missed something in the last months, but do you still talk to Kyle? Any chance he might be back on stream anytime? I talk to Kyle rarely. I guess I just recently found out that Kyle's just never on Skype, so that's the reason why I missed him. I guess so much over the past year, but I might actually be playing Factorio with Kyle in a couple weeks. That's the dream. He's got his next set of days off. He's going to be at his brother's wedding, and then that next weekend, when he says he's free, or not weekend, but that next set of days off, hopefully maybe we can play a little bit of Factorio together. It should be pretty fun. So that's what I got for now for our Monday Mail memes. I will be back next week with Monday Mail number 4. I might record a video before then, but it'll be politically oriented, so it'll probably be kind of boring. Thanks a lot for tuning in, guys. I'll see you later.